right, so for this one, they're asking us to figure out the reflection. I guess there were two reflections that resulted in a new shape from this one, and it was reflected twice. So if you remember in class, we talked about two different types of reflections. If we do a double reflection across perpendicular lines, so imagine if you had two lines that were perpendicular, and you reflect this heart, let's say you reflect it across this line here, so it looks like this, and then you reflect it, let's make it so that this heart has a little dot on one of its sides so you can tell. So when we reflect it, it looks like this is where the little dot is, and then when we reflect it across there, it's going to look like this. But remember, if we reflected it, this part's going to be here now. So can you guys tell that this looks like a rotation, basically a 180-degree rotation? So that's if we're across perpendicular lines. Now, if we were to do a double reflection across parallel lines, let's say we started with a heart here. I'll put the little dot there. So if we reflect it, now this honestly is kind of really hard for me to imagine reflecting this. I think I probably should have drawn it so that the heart was going a different way. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so I'm going to draw the heart so it's like this, because I'll be able to reflect it more easily with a dot. Okay, so let's say I were to reflect this across this line. It's going to end up about here. And my little dot point thing will be here. Sorry, my hearts aren't very identical, are they? Okay, and then now I'm going to reflect it across here. So I'm going to flip that over, so it's going to end up being kind of like this. And my dot's going to be here now. So first time I reflected it over there, and then I reflected this one over that line. If you have trouble seeing it, you can fold the paper along that line of reflection and kind of see through, and you should be able to see where the shape should end up. So, if you look, this actually looks like I just translated it instead of rotating it because of where the dot ended up. Alright, so they tell us here that our translation ends up being the same as if I had our double reflection is the same as a translation 4 units up and 4 units to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be S prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be R prime, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be T prime. So you can see our new shape is going to be exactly where the old one was, just shifted up. It didn't rotate or turn at all. So I can say that the lines definitely were parallel because of how that reflection happened. Now, I originally thought there was only one answer that worked for this, so if I were to draw a line, I was kind of just trying to keep it in line with these other ones, and so I have my line here, and I have another line right here. And to me, I felt like, okay, if I reflected, would that work? So let's see. To reflect S across this line, it's going to go from, oh, I apologize. No, that's right. If I reflect S, it's about a half a hop away, so I would end up right here. And here it's 1 1/2, and so here it would be a half and 1. So that worked. For R is 1 hop away here, so I would end up reflecting it here. And then to do my next reflection, I would reflect it across this line, and it would end up here. And the same thing would work for T. T would go across this line to here, and then it would go across this line to here. So I have those two lines. They both have a slope of -1. So my lines are going to be y equals -x plus 6 and y equals negative x plus 10. Another student, Jared from 5th period, showed me how he actually used different lines to reflect over, and it ended up working out. So you might be able to find a different answer. I believe he used y equals negative x plus 8 and y equals negative x plus 12.